right, let's get down to business. Joe Biden had a town hall last night, and he had quite a bit to say. Some of it was good, some of it not so good from my perspective. But let's take it clip by clip. We have a couple of clips from last night, and let's discuss what the president had to say on CNN. Let's take a look at the first one.
And I'm going to say something's going to get me in trouble, which I couldn't go through a whole show without doing that. And that is that, think about it. If you want to know where the American public is, look at the money being spent on advertising. Did you ever 5 years ago think every second or third ad out of 5 or 6 you'd turn on would be biracial couples? No, I'm not being facetious. The reason I'm so hopeful is this new generation. They're not like
White
us.
baby Jesus.
They're thinking differently. They're more open.
Jesus H.
And we got to
Christ.
take advantage of it.
I want you to.
Jesus Christ Jr.
Okay, I didn't expect that one. I didn't watch the town hall last night. I'm not going to lie to you.
We didn't watch it, but those clips, I saw those clips.
I wasn't ready
The
for
fact
that
that he said,
it's progress to him.
That, and this is what I was going to say. You know, we talked about this before, that people really assume that in advertisement or in these commercials, that having a black man or a black woman and a white, just a biracial couple
is progress.
Is enough. It ends racism because Cheerios got a mixed baby on there with the black dad and the white mama.
Cereal on his heart. Yeah.
Or the woman with the natural hair and the white man. I cannot, okay? Because this does not mean that you or this world is progressing. There is so much more. And if that is the bar that says it's progression, that's a problem. Yeah. And the president of the United States is literally like, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm still going to say it. If you know that is a low bar, why would you say it? If you know that if you say this, if you knew yourself that you saying this was going to sound stupid and you still allowed it to come out of your mouth, like there are so many more issues to talk about, or there are so many things. There are so many more ways to discuss progression, right? And that's what you chose, is a damn commercial. And you said that the new generation is the cause of this.
I'm going to be honest with you. Progress to me is showing a black couple.
All black couple. No biracial,
That's
all
progress. Black. Like
because we were conditioned to see white couples from God knows when to whenever. Right. I want to see a black couple.
I want to see a happy black couple.
Particularly one without a perm. I want to see some natural hair. I want to see
natural, right?
Yeah, I want to see a full beard or something. Yeah. Like I want to see texture. I want to see skin. I want to see, like, you know what I mean? That's what I want to see, because you guys are so used to showing the Europeanized look, literally like what I got on right now. But when I take this off, you know, I can still be cute. But I want to see us I want to see black people in their natural, right? Because, you know, they've always told us that our hair wasn't nice. They always told us that our skin wasn't beautiful. And now we're like the most
whatever we want to be at that moment. Yeah.
So show the black folks, and I'm tired of it. You right, Ben.
Shout out to my producers. Producers pro tip: put the good clips first. Put the stuff that Joe Biden said good first.
The good stuff.
Because now I'm mad.
So that we don't chase away our good liberal audience. We like y'all, but we gonna keep it real with y'all no matter what. Let's play it. Maybe the next clip is better, because he did have some good things to say, I'm assuming. Let's go to the next clip.
You know, Mr. President, defund the police is discussed as an option for reforming policing. However, there are communities where people live in fear, not of the police, but in fear of the violent gangs who commit crimes in those neighborhoods.
Christ.
How can we be sure that we don't over-legislate police officers so that they can't do their job to protect the law-abiding citizens who live in these high-crime neighborhoods, and yet train officers to police with compassion?
By number one, not defunding the police. We have to put more money in police work. So we have legitimate community policing, and we're in a situation where we changed the legislation. No one should go to jail for a drug offense.
You're killing me.
No one should go to jail for the use of a drug. They should go to drug rehabilitation. Drug rehabilitation, number one. We should be in a position where we change the system of sentencing system to one that relates to a notion of...
Dwayne.
Thanks for telling me that. Is related to making sure that what you do is you focus on making sure that there's rehabilitation.
Yeah. Y'all try to make sure I don't get invitations to go anywhere. Because what the hell is wrong with Joe Biden? Like, no. Let me start the beginning of it. Who strategically placed that brother there to ask that silly ass question? Because that was a strategic placement. Like,
it was so strategic that we know. It was very strategic because the words that he utilized. Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. It's a no for me. Yeah. I knew when I looked at that brother wanted to say something else. But they were like, if you can frame it like this is before we're going to have this question framed.
You saw he was reading really intensely. Like,
he was like,
he was reading.
He needed to make sure every word, like I be doing on the readers, I could get through. So, like, this is what we're doing. Here's my problem here. He said, we're going to start by doing that we're going to do that. That man said, how can we make sure that police are policing with compassion? Right now, that's something that I don't know will happen because it's never happened. Right. And I'm talking about policing as a whole in general. Mm-hmm. Right. But he said we're going to do that by not defunding the police, by placing more money into policing.
Into the police, y'all.
How does that make sense? Are you not listening to the people? This is my problem with Joe Biden right now that I'm starting to see. He literally is just like, oh yeah, I hear you guys. I hear what everyone is saying, but I'm gonna go this way instead. Like, it's not about the people for me right now. It's about what I feel and what I want. And I hear you guys, and I know that you guys are out here protesting things that, like your lives matter, Black folks. But look at what we need. Look at what's happening. Look at the progress. The progress is in the commercials where we have the Black and white couple. The progress is going to be in me not defunding the police like you guys are asking. Man. And although there's proof in why we should defund the police, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to place more money in there, and that's going to help you. It doesn't make any sense.
$2,000 and you're going to be okay and shut the hell up.
$1,400, not
$1,400.
$1,400.
Oh, I'm sorry, $1,400. That's right, $1,400.
Yeah. Can they hear you, Dwayne? Okay. No. You can say it out loud. The pastor, apparently he was a pastor, and Dwayne, our producer in the background, saying that he was worried about that 501c3. So he was treading very carefully with those questions. But let's keep it 100, right? Yeah. The people in the streets weren't asking to defund the police. They were saying abolish the police. Right. Yeah. And the fact that Joe Biden, there would never be an occasion where you tune into this show and we don't keep it 100. Right. And the fact that Joe Biden not only is not hearing when the people say abolish the police, because and to be sure, there's an entire body of literature and research behind the strategy and the efficacy of defunding and or abolishing the police. Let's be sure. Right. But he completely disregarded that in exchange for ye old, we're afraid of the gangbangers in our neighborhood trope. Listen, the safest communities in this country, without question, are not safe because the police patrol them. In fact, the sign of a safe neighborhood is the fact that the police aren't even there. You come to any type of lower middle class, upper middle class, the richer you go, there are no police patrolling those neighborhoods like they're patrolling the most marginalized communities. And so the fact that the president of the United States, even if it is Joe Biden, is ignoring the reality of the Black community, saying, hello, get these abusive pigs out of our community. Sorry, folks, that's my show. This is what we do here. Get them out of our communities, because they are not only abusing us and killing us, but they are extracting wealth from our communities in the form of tax dollars and taking them back to the suburbs. They don't even live in the communities that they police. No. And so they come into our communities, take our money and abuse us and kill us. And when we say abolish it, y'all are like, stop the sloganeering. And then we say, somebody else says defund it. And the president of the United States says, not only are we not going to defund it, but listen, is there a single good clip from last night? There's got to be. Let's try one more clip and see if there's anything good in this town hall for Black people.
There are a lot of people who are scared, and there's a lot of people who are hurting. When do you think this pandemic is... when is it going to be done? When are we going to get back to normal?
Well, all the experts, all the committee that I put together with the leading researchers in the world, in the United States, are on this committee of mine, headed by Dr. Fauci and others. They tell me, be careful not to predict things that you don't know for certain what's going to happen, because then you'll be held accountable. I get that. But let me tell you what I think based on all that I've learned and all that I've studied and all that I think that I know. It's a high probability that the vaccinations that are available today and the new one, Johnson & Johnson, God willing, will prove to be useful, that with those vaccinations, the ability to continue to spread the disease is going to diminish considerably because of what they call herd immunity. And now they're saying somewhere around 70% of the people have to constitute. Some people said 50, 60, but a significant number have to be in a position where they have been vaccinated and or they've been through it and
have antibodies.
And have antibodies. So if that works that way, as my mother would say, with the grace of God and the goodwill of the neighbors, that by next Christmas, I think we'll be in a very different circumstance, God willing, than we are today. I think a year from now, when it's 22 below zero here, a year from now, I think that there'll be significantly fewer people having to be socially distanced, have to wear masks, etc. But we don't know. So I don't want to overpromise anything here. I told you when I ran and when I got elected, I will always level with you.
Okay, that's realistic. And I think that's a reality that I think everyone needs to start adjusting for. We had hoped to be out of the pandemic by spring or by summer. I had hoped to be out of the pandemic by my 41st birthday in the summer. But reality is because of the level of ignorance and stupidity that came from the Donald Trump administration and the selfishness and the individualism of Americans refusing to wear a mask and refusing to stay home and social distance in a meaningful way. Of course, we're going to be stuck in this a lot longer, which is one of the reasons, like, not to just drop a plug for this show, but one of the reasons we try to bring so much joy is because we understand we're going to be in this pandemic for a little bit longer. The thing about this is that at least we're facing reality now, right? And we're facing reality that we're in this for the long haul. We've got probably another full year in this pandemic. The sad thing that I'm seeing right now is all of a sudden Republicans are caring about the number of people who have died from COVID-19. They didn't care when Donald Trump was president. They did not care that 450,000 people died underneath Donald Trump's 1 year dealing with COVID-19, right? And now all of a sudden they started to count over. Now they're counting and saying, oh, we're up to 80,000 people who have died underneath Joe Biden. I'm sorry. What happened to the other 450,000 people who died underneath Donald Trump? And so one of the things I do appreciate about this administration is that at least at a minimum, we are going to address COVID-19 from a scientific perspective, but also a responsible political perspective. And instead of just saying it's going to magically disappear, Rebecca and James, he's given a realistic timeline based on the realities of what we're facing right now, which is we're going to be in this for a little while. What do you guys think about that clip?
And I honestly think it's probably going to be a while because we can't even get out of the phase 1A of the vaccinations, which is for elderly and people with underlying conditions. So we still can't get out of that phase. So I really think it's going to be much longer than that. So I'll be here in this good old house.
Oh, Rebecca, I thought you were frozen. Looked like you taking it all in.
Me too, bitch.
So I wasn't frozen. I was doing the mannequin challenge. No, I think that, that was good. I mean, he was speaking in a realistic way, like you said. We really have to treat it like it's going to be something that's here long term, especially with the way that we've been handling it. There has been a lot of herd communities, especially with Republicans who have been out here in these streets for a minute. The people of Atlanta, I will call you out every time I can. The people of Atlanta, who, is a community that I'm a part of here, who have been a part of a herd community, which has been a setback for us in healing and moving on. Not only here in Atlanta, but I'm speaking of Atlanta because I live here, but there are other areas too who have been doing the same thing. It's people who have been the problem. And I guess now if we can just get people to, because they didn't want to wear, we tried to get people to wear a mask. We had a whole governor who stopped the mayor from doing a mask mandate. So you know what I mean? So it's been tough, right? But if we can just get people to get the vaccine,
and be responsible,
and be responsible. I'm still on the fence about getting the vaccine, but I want to be out. I don't want to live my life this way.
I'm not on the fence anymore. As soon as
so now I'm leaning towards getting the vaccine. But yes, I do like that he is making it a more realistic conversation and giving it a more realistic timeline, especially because we had Donald Trump, who was in office, who was just like basically acting as if people need to live their lives, that get COVID, die hard. Like, it's like that kind of thing. Like when he came from having COVID himself, ripping off the mask, hardly being able to breathe was a sign for me that the country is in turmoil. Do not listen to Donald Trump. Like, it was just so much surrounding that. So having a president who can talk about COVID-19 and give realistic timelines and provide realistic help, that makes sense. Now, not that he's providing help right now so much, but because there was a lady because I did watch a few clips. There was a lady in there who did discuss that her son was high risk, had pre-existing conditions, which makes him high risk for COVID-19. And with the COVID-19 vaccines being pushed back right now, especially with everything going on with these storms and everything like that, and people not being able to access them and all those kind of things, he singled her out and said to her, basically, I don't know about the other stuff, but we're working on the other stuff, but you and me can get together after this and I can see how I can help you with your son. Joe Biden is really, really good at that. It's like he'll skip over this whole part of the conversation, but make sure that he is looking like the father of the year. He's looking like the grandfather of the year. He knows how to win people over in that way. And him telling her that I'm going to get with you to make sure I can provide assistance for you and your son was enough for the crowd to clap.
Right.
But
what about everybody else's sons?
You know what I mean? So
people.
I mean, I know that he's working on it, but he has to tread lightly in this type of. We had Obama. We loved him because he was Black. We loved him because the kids loved him. We loved him in that moment. But we are past that phase. We don't need a president just for likability. We need more than that. And it's good to have somebody who we can relate to and see as, Grandpa Biden, JB, Joe Biden, and but we right now, we need more. We need something tangible. We need something more. And I don't think right now in this moment, y'all can shoot me up in the comments if you want to, but Rebecca Azor.
Oh, they're not going to shoot you up. They agree with you.
In this particular moment, I don't see something more than him trying to be Reagan in this moment. So
Reagan, damn.
Wow.
Okay, I got no.
Both of us.
Okay.